I bought 129 statues from Sideshow Collectibles. If you go into my current orders, there's only 2. And it got me thinking, why don't I buy from Sideshow Collectibles anymore? This video is a question, it's not a statement. I'm really wondering. I don't even know how this video is going to go. Kind of like when my 8th grade physics teacher came on to me, I was like, you know what? I don't know what this is going to be like, but I really want to do it. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we're giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X. We're all about extreme collectibles, and I want to talk about Sideshow Collectibles, who are arguably the most well-known statue maker and distributor in the industry. Like many people, I got my into collecting statues and figures through Sideshow Collectibles. Not directly, but they were the main source of my addiction for a long time. So Sideshow Collectibles is a US-based company, makes statues in so many different scales, everything from life-size all the way down to 1/10, I believe. When I first started collecting statues and figures, I collected Hot Toys. A big portion I bought from Sideshow Collectibles, and then eventually I moved to statues. A lot of their pieces from 6-7 years ago, like Thanos on Throne right here, which I still have and love. And then quite a few I just don't own anymore. If you look through my collection, there's very few Sideshow pieces, and I know you do see one right there. But for the most part, I would say they're less than 10% of my collection, if not less than 5%. And right now, if you look at my orders with Sideshow Collectibles, like I said, over the last 7 years or so, I bought 129 pieces. I only have 2 on order right now, which we'll talk about why I'm even buying 2 from them. It really got me thinking, why don't I buy from Sideshow Collectibles anymore? So I want to walk through those reasons today. Because honestly, like I said in the intro, this isn't a statement, it's more of a question. So here are some of the things that I figured out. I was much more successful figuring these out than I was with my 8th grade teacher, Mrs. Jordan. Now before we dive in, I want to give some clarity on Sideshow Collectibles. Not only do they produce their own statues, but they are a distributor for a lot of their competitors. And the reason for that is they are US based. And we're going to talk about some of those competitors today, but for the most part, with little exception, I still don't even order through Sideshow Collectibles, even if it's a different company. So as I said, I got to wondering why. Because with Sideshow, they have some outstanding features. Number one, I think their customer service is still some of the best in the game. I've seen its up and downs throughout the years, especially during COVID, which is kind of normal for all businesses. But they do a great job taking care of their customer for the most part. That's just like every company. They have misses. They don't operate 100% efficient. But I am really impressed by their customer service, how they take care of a customer when there's an issue. And if you treat them right, they treat you right. And again, definitely some exceptions, and I've been on the receiving end of some bad customer service from every company. 2, their statues they make and produce, especially in the quarter scale, are without a doubt the best bang for the buck. You know, recently I got their Carnage. I think it's an amazing piece. I don't think they put out as many hits as they used to, but you know, for a quarter scale statue, they're charging for the most part anywhere between $500 and $800, where the competition is $1,000 all the way up to $2,500. Now, a lot of their pieces aren't as good, and I think they have a lot more misses than hits nowadays, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, when it comes to best bang for your buck, Sideshow does a ton of amazing sales, especially lately, where you can get 20-30% off. Of course, high shipping and taxes sometimes offset that, but I still think that's pretty cool. Also, one thing I believe Sideshow Collectibles is pretty well known for compared to the other companies is kind of interacting with fans. Now, this is on social media, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, and I'm saying this in comparison to other companies. They do a lot of contests and interaction with their customers that you don't typically see with other companies. Now, for me, I don't care about that, but a lot of people like it, so I think that's definitely a good thing. And each statue company kind of has their own thing that they're doing, and some are doing some really cool stuff. Like I love Prime One Studios showcase events they do, but I definitely think Sideshow needs some props for that. So I really got to think, why don't I like Sideshow? Well, I know one topic that's been really hot at the beginning of 2023 is their shipping prices. They seem to be charging a lot for shipping, and there's all these conspiracy theories and people bashing them that they're padding shipping, and they may be, I don't know. But I do know that it's hard for a consumer like myself, unless I own a logistics business, which I don't, to compare what I would pay for shipping to what they would pay for shipping. For example, when I ship something under my UPS account, I don't have to pay for some of the things that they do. They have to pay for a warehouse. They have to pay for utilities. They have to pay for warehouse employees. They They have to pay for pallets. They have to pay for the product to be shipped from China to them. They have to pay for web design and advertising and overhead and customer service and all those people that file returns on broken pieces, whether it's legitimate or not. And there's so much more that actually goes into their costs that I don't have if I'm just going to UPS or FedEx and shipping a box. While their shipping prices do bother me, every company's does at this time, and I don't think that's why I don't buy from them anymore. You know, I said this recently on a live show. A lot of people are mad that Sideshow is charging tax if you live in the US. Sideshow doesn't charge tax. The US government charges tax. And I hear people say buy from other distributors or Prime One directly, so you're not charged tax. Hey, you still have to pay tax on that. You just have to voluntarily do it when you do your tax return at the end of the year. So if you're not doing that, I wouldn't advertise it in a Facebook post where the IRS can see. Is it because they're padding their prices a little bit? Maybe, a little bit. When they distribute for other companies, like I've seen some of their Prime One Studio pieces, they originally were starting to upcharge like $5, now sometimes it's $100. Yeah, if I can save $100 and go through someone else, that could definitely be a factor. But when I want a statue, I'm not necessarily always shopping around for an amazing deal. If I'm spending $1,000 or $2,000 or more, I want to buy it from someone who I can rely on, and I do think I can rely on Sideshow Collectibles. So I don't think it's about the fact that they're raising those prices. And like we said, I think with their specific statues, not necessarily statues they distribute for, they give the best bang for the buck. Now, a few things though, Sideshow does have some exclusivity on certain pieces where it's easier or sometimes only possible to get it through them. Now, sometimes that's because they have an agreement with the producer. Sometimes that's because there's very limited quantities for other distributors. Like, for example, if you want a PCS piece, Sideshow is probably the best place to get it. And they do offer things like rewards, which a lot of companies do, and I think Sideshow actually has the best rewards, which brings me back to why do I have 2 orders with Sideshow? So right now I have 2 orders with Sideshow. One is the Prime One Studios Black Adam, and the reason I have that on order with Sideshow, I had points that were going to expire, so I had to use them up. It was like $400 in points, and I think that the point system Sideshow does is one of the best in the industry. The other one is this Sideshow specific one. It is J. Scott Campbell. It's the exclusive. Now, there are other distributors you can get this from, but again, I had some points that I had to burn up, so I went ahead and purchased directly through Sideshow. Those are the only 2 pieces that I have on order. Really, is it the quality of their product? So I started to think about that. You know, Sideshow Collectibles, I think they used to have a much higher quality of product, or did they? Did they just have less competition? And I think that's probably more true. Like in my mind, Sideshow, when you stick to like quarter scale, and they've made very few third scale or half scale pieces, I think that 3 out of 5 statues that they came out with were a hit. We're like, ooh, that's really good. Where nowadays, I say it's probably 1 out of 5. But I've seen that trend. Like XM Studios, I think it's the same way. XM Studios used to be 4 out of 5 statues, and now they're 2 out of 5 that's a hit. Prime One Studios, I think, has gone the exact opposite direction. They were like 3 out of 5 was a hit. Now they're 4 out of 5. And I think they're currently the best company out there. I think a lot of people do. And then you have newcomers on the scene like Queen Studios and JND, Infinity Studios. And while PCS isn't a newcomer, I think they've extremely elevated their game. In my mind, in the old days, 1 in 10 PCS pieces were a hit, and now it's like 2 out of 5 or sometimes 3 out of 5. And some of these you can buy directly from Sideshow Collectibles and get that great customer service. Don't have to worry about import fees because they're based here in the US. Great reward system, but I still don't choose to buy from them. And every once in a while, I'll buy one of their products, like that Carnage I was talking about. But ironically, I didn't buy the Carnage from them. I bought it from another distributor. So where do I buy from? You know, there's a lot of great distributors out there, and I've advertised a lot of them on the channel. Just to name a few, some I really trust: Spec Fiction, Comic Concepts, Cosmic Chase Collectibles, all very reliable stuff for specific product lines. There's a link to some of those below if you want to check them out. There's also a link to Sideshow if you want to buy from there. Now, as a disclaimer, when you click on those links and you buy something, I do get a little kickback, which is good because Mrs. Jordan has been blackmailing me for years. So in summary, I don't know why I don't buy from Sideshow Collectibles anymore. I just don't. They just don't float my boat, scratch my itch, tickle my fancy, pitters my patter. So I thought it'd be interesting to get some dialogue going in the comments below. Do you still buy from Sideshow Collectibles? If you do you do as much as you used to, or do you go to other places? And if so, why or why not? Stuck into the video this long, make sure you go through the comments as well and interact with others. I think that's the cool thing about this virtual community and this hobby that's kind of weird, that we keep separate from our main lives. Plus, if you comment in a video, we're doing a statue giveaway later this year. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thank you for tuning in. Different subject. I know I didn't really answer your question, but I haven't answered my own question. So please answer the question for me with your opinion in the comments below. And if you like stuff like this, make sure to hit subscribe and that bell notification. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself.